Okay, Brianna, I am so excited. You're the very first student I've had that I've used with my new software to conduct what we call a web lesson. And what I'm going to do is I pulled up Nick Schipple, who's a member at Golf Nation, and he's my model from the down the line view because his positions are as good as it gets. And I've got a database of over 500 golfers, tour pros, highly ranked amateurs, and his is as good, if not better, than any one of them. Okay, so first, the line you see is called the initial shaft plane. Don't get it confused with the swing plane because the club is on and off of it a few times during the swing. It's impossible to keep your hands and the club on that line the whole time. We're not trying to do that. What we're trying to do basically is once we get to about P3, you're going to see the shaft move above that plane, but we're going to try to keep it parallel. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop both of you guys at position 2, and what you're going to see when Nick gets to position 2, if I can get this to stop. Okay, whoops. All right. There. Okay. And you can pretty much put his hands in a circle. His hands and the club head in a little circle right there. Okay? And now let's watch you. And I'm going to stop the club when it's parallel to the ground because that's our checkpoint. So if we look at your circle, way back here. In fact, it's not even in it. And then look where your hands are. Okay? So we talked about that today. You have entirely too much left forearm rotation, and you also lift your arms up in the air. Okay? So just remember that your hands, we want those hands right above your right foot. Okay? That's where Nick's are. Okay? You can't tell it from here, but your hands are probably a foot from your right foot, outside of it and almost behind. Okay? Next position is P3. All right, so if you notice, you're almost already to P3, and that's where your left arm's parallel to the ground. But look at your shaft, and it's what we call laid off. It's not anywhere close to where we want it. That left arm should, that shaft should be parallel to that original shaft plane. All right, let's watch Nick's. And Nick just continues to turn. There's not a lot of lifting going on. Okay, so you can see Nick's left arm parallel to the ground. And his shaft is off of it a little bit, but for the most part, that's pretty dang good. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and take Nick to the top. And what's important at the top is that our left arm our shoulders and our club face are all in line. And if you notice, Nick's club face is a 90-degree angle to his original shaft plane. Okay, let's take a look at yours. Now, Nick just continued to turn to the top. You're going to have to do some arm lifting to get there. See that? Okay, you really have to lift those arms. I mean, you're turning too, and you're super athletic. Okay, super athletic. But what I'd like you to do is if you'll stop at each one of these positions and practice now. Obviously, you're not going to stop when you're actually hitting balls. But if you'll use a mirror and watch these videos, it'll start to make sense to you. Okay? So you're in a really good position here at the top. You're all very flexible. Good positions. You've maintained your spine angle. Okay, whoops, we don't want to box. on a straight line. So there's your spine angle. There's your left arm, and most important, look at your club face. Okay, so your club face is at a 90-degree angle to your original shaft plane. All right. So now here's where it gets a little complicated. I'm going to use a yellow line, and this is what we call the slot. And anytime we're swinging the golf club, we want to swing between those yellow lines. Okay. And like I told you, the shaft doesn't stay on that original line. It swings on parallel planes. Okay. So first, let's watch Nick, and you're going to see his hands basically drop straight down. Boom. Okay. And then look at his right elbow or right forearm. It's right on plane. Okay, we'll do the same thing with you. Whoops, where'd my lines go? Told you this is the first time. Alright, so there's your slot. Boom, right down into it. That's awesome. Okay, now one thing, if I was going to fuss at both of you guys, would be you really want to try to keep that right foot on the ground a little bit longer. Okay, that heel's not really going to come off the ground until you're past post impact. Okay, we want it. You want to try to get that right ankle to roll toward the target. In both of y'all's case, you can't see it, but your right ankle's pointing way out there to right field. His, okay, you can see his. His is rolling down more. Looks like your ankle's kind of rolling to the inside. His right ankle actually points back in here. That's weird. Okay, that's weird how you can do yours. But what you like to do is just keep that right foot on the ground and let the heel and the toe, the inside of the foot, all roll down at the same time. But those are really good positions. Nick's got a little bit better hip rotation. Okay, you can see both of his butt cheeks. That tells me his hips are probably at least 50 degrees open to the target. I see a little bit of your butt cheek. Okay, so that means your hips are you're probably about 30, 35. They're pointing to right field. Nick's are pointing more almost to the target. Okay, so at any rate, great job today. Really excited about what I saw. And if you'll just hang in there and do what I tell you, you're going to be a really good golfer. For sure, your best golf's in front of you. And like I told you and your dad today, you got to play. You have to play. Get in some tournaments. Get out there and expose yourself. Expose the weaknesses. Because that's the only way you're going to get better. Okay? Great job. And I'm going to make another one of these for your dad. And then one from the front view too. Okay? Have any questions, please call me.